Welcome to the Fiery Voices by Live Room Studios. My name is Franca. Today our topic is love and lust. We have some friends here who's going to join us to discuss this topic. And today's a big house, so they're all going to mention their names by themselves. So who wants to go first?
Okay, my name is Patmos Deborah.
Okay.
My friends call me PD.
Hey. Okay.
Hello, guys. My name is Clinton.
Hi, guys. My name is Chelsea.
Hi, my name is Karen.
Okay. Now let's dive into our topic for the day. So love and lust. I know you're probably saying, what is the difference? So fortunately for us, we have a big house, big team today, and everybody's going to share their opinions on what it is. So you're looking at me. Do you want to go first?
What I can say, lust is one thing I know about lust is I'm not sure if it's right, but it's aggressive just simply because the person wants everything right then, and that's it. And when it comes to love, love is comfort, compassionate, and a longer term of lust. So I think that's what I got to say.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
I'll dive on that one. Because I'm Christian. Yeah, I'm Christian. I'd like to see it from a biblical point of view of like what love is versus what lust is, and what should I expect. And so like even looking at like 1 Corinthians, how it defines love, I think that's not just a characteristic of like what we should look for in God, but that's how we should look to not just love each other in friendships, but in relationships. So if we're saying love is kind, love is patient, it does not envy, it does not boast, it's slow to anger, it forgets your wrongdoings. That is how I expect love to be, right? Not just like on my own, but like love with all my relationships.
That's fair.
And then when I think of lust, especially when I think of it usually as something that's not patient, something that is rushed, and you don't feel the comforting feeling that accompanies love, right?
Right.
Lust seems impatient, like it seems very, I like what you use, like aggressive. And it's something that I just think that it can sometimes give us a false like perspective. It's like a knockoff.
Yeah.
So it can feel like love, but it's like a knockoff version of what love would be. So I just think it's flee.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, I totally agree. Because one thing I know about love is when there is love, there is this bonding, even with a mother and a child. And with lust, there's no time to bond, to get to know the person on like an emotional. It's mainly on a physical term on how you see the person. So you want to go after that person and just get what you want right then and there. But with love, you take your time because you want to actually dive into this person's life and what they are actually about and bond with them. And when you have that kind of bond, it goes a long way.
Cool.
Know the person. It does not matter because it's this rush of physical attraction, and you are just feeding off that. Whilst love deals with more deeper connection, you want to know the person deeper in and out before you can actually say, I know this person and I love this person. It requires you to actually go extra miles to be able to make that happen. And so shallow for lust, very deep
Yep.
For
for love.
Okay, I guess we've had enough of that. So do any of you have like a personal experience you want to share between those two? Maybe on love or lust. Yeah. Everybody's like
Youngest first.
youngest first.
I'm
oh
switching.
my goodness.
That's funny.
No, I'll jump on it.
That's funny. Yeah, lust. I think it's different. One, I think first just adding to like the definitions between love and lust. I think lust is selfish, right? And like love considers, I think, the person you're giving it to, right?
Yeah.
And again, back to like biblical definitions, because that's where I'd like to reference my love for. even like John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, right?
Yeah.
So when I think of that, I think of love being action. Like, how do I prove that I love somebody? By like even giving them my time, by giving them my energy. So when I love someone, I'm willing to give to them, right?
Exactly.
But when I think of lust, I just think of selfishness, right? And how that makes me
I
feel.
have a question there.
Please.
How can it be selfish if both agree?
Well, I think even if we're talking like lust between two people, in the context, I can think of a love in a relationship. When you love someone, you're thinking about the other person first and what you could give to them.
Yeah.
But when you're lusting, you guys are both thinking of yourself, right? It's not like, how can I make the other person feel better? How can I make them like feel like satisfied, give all these things to them? It's how can this person give to me? And so I think you guys are both selfish, and those selfish desires motivate you to each other.
Okay.
Personal experiences with the lust. I feel like what? Go ahead.
Do you think love is not selfish?
No, I don't think so. I think at least if we're talking about romantic love, right?
Yeah.
In the future.
Yeah.
I think it's when you both put each other, like say even in the context of marriage, like that person's needs are now your priority, but also your needs are now their priority. I feel like it becomes a competition, not a competition, but of like, how can I love you more?
Yeah.
And I feel like it is one of the most giving things you could do, right? Like I'm going to give myself to you. I'm going to put your desires first.
Right.
So like you're like secondary. And but then I think it's beautiful because although you're putting their desires first, they're putting yours first. It's like, how can I love you better? It kind of becomes like a challenge in that way. Because I'm young, I truly think I've only experienced like lust, not lust. I've experienced like, I think in a romantic sense, because I think, especially nowadays, like it's kind of a thing to put your body out there, right? Like it's like you're supposed to display the goods, right? And I just hello, guilty. I'm not guilty. I am not guilty. No, you're no guilty. No guilty. I'm not putting that. I'm not putting that position. No, I'm a big fan of modesty. I'm a big fan of modesty, but you can't help your body type, right?
Yeah.
And so, even being someone who has more of a defined body type, it seems like because everyone's so used to somebody with my body type being outgoing with their body and leading with that, people assume that when they come up to talk to me, that's how I'm going to respond. Because like off first base, even if I'm wearing something, even if it's like a tighter top, it looks like I have to be more cognizant of the things I wear because of how my body, like, even though it's unfair, like, yeah, people who don't have the body that I have the privilege of like not having to think about that, but I have to be cognizant of that. Right. And so, I feel like lust, all my interactions with lust, because I think I have discernment now and what I want, have become very short-lived. But even just last week, like experiencing like people talking to me or even watching where their eyes go or things like that will reveal their true intentions, right? Like, my eyes are up here, baby. And I know like you can get tempted and that's fine, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think that's something that is a problem. But I think it's like, even in how they ask me questions and how they cater to the conversation. For some reason, we always find ourselves in this place of, oh, have you ever done that before? And then it's like, okay, this is not somebody who cares about like my emotions or the thoughts behind my body. And so I think because I'm young and I'm not actively like seeking out like love, oh my gosh, I need to be and I'm not looking actively. He who finds, he who finds. I'm not no he. I'm not going searching. But I think it leads me to be more aware, especially guys my age, younger in college, are only seem to like right now. It's rare to find someone who's, I think, looking for love, long-term love.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you think that is literally the descriptions you gave? It's literally based on the fact of how a woman is seeing it than a man, because of the fact that for us, the same way that women go about looking at love and lust, we might look at it differently because we like to look first. We have to get attracted by our eyes first,
right, and they go
before
for
we
it.
approach.
Yeah.
And knowing comes second. Right. So I think lust is part of our love, though.
Whoa. Oh, please go into that. You think lust is
I think you'll go next because what he's saying,
yeah. So quick response to that. That's being part of your love. I do think that you should be attractive to the person ways. And attraction, presenting yourself in an attractive way is so important, right? Like, I need to be able to make babies with you. Hello, like I need to be able, and that's important, right? But after that, you're attracted to me. What happens after that is just as important. Yeah.
Yeah, because how can you love somebody you're not attracted to?
Yeah.
And you can never get attracted to somebody until you see what makes you feel like you're attracted to the person.
Right.
Okay, you want to go next? Because I like what you were saying.
And I have to say, and I have to shop around.
Shop around.
To like
We
it.
just shop it.
Exactly. And when I like it, I have to test the waters by not that one.
And by testing
Not
the
what you're talking about, not what you guys are thinking. Test the waters by trying you out. What I mean by that is getting to know you. If you don't work for me, the immediate first thing doesn't matter no more. Because there are so many beautiful women out there, you know, and I think as I said earlier on, that is the number one first thing, because I can testify to that. That when I saw my wife, I had to like her first outwardly before I go searching the inwardly. And when I found that, I was actually excited, too excited that I experienced lust in that moment. I was like, ooh.
You need to ask for forgiveness.
And I was standing there like, oh, God says, if you look once and you look twice, hey. But I'm like, God, what if I marry her though?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, I just gave it a shot to try to know her. And that is where I actually experienced the love part, which is trying to find out how she understands things, how she looks at other things from the perspective she sees it in comparison to how I see it. Is it a good match? If I actually get her mad, really mad, what is she going to do? Do I want to actually be in a position where she's so mad that she does something that I don't like? Because I've heard some women be cutting things off and stabbing people, and it goes both ways, right?
Yeah,
But with that happening, you don't want somebody who's going to do that to you.
exactly.
I don't want that. So I want somebody who can be able to be like, I need to take a minute. Let me just walk out, or what our parents say to us is very important. Put water in your mouth so you don't say something you'll regret later. Because in the court of law, any words that falls on the ground, you cannot pick it back up. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So when I realized all those good qualities with her, that's when I wanted to know more. Then the love aspect was just building up off of the last part. So I lasted first.
So that when you say tested, you tested the waters. Was it? Did you get to a point where you were like, okay, this moment is like very intimate? Like you were getting so intimate with the person that it got to a different level.
I'm not talking about intimacy when I'm talking about testing the waters. I'm talking about knowing people.
We just want to know what kind of water you tested.
Because I am actually going to know somebody. If it doesn't work, I will have to move away, right?
Yeah.
So that I can find a better suitor. That is what I did. So that's my explanation for testing waters.
I have a quick question right there. So, like, after the attraction and not intentionally, but you didn't like how the person's attitude is,
Exactly.
how the person is it called lust? If you can continue with that, not intentionally.
What do you
Because I think lust is intentionally like trying to like get something to do with someone, and that's it.
Really?
That ends there.
I wouldn't say that lust is intentional all the time. I think that sometimes, like, my thoughts go places that I wouldn't want them to.
Yeah.
Like, I think the actions that flow out of lust may be intentional. Like when I like choose to do something because I'm lusting. But I think sometimes we can't control our thoughts. Sometimes I say not all thoughts are my own. I'm like, where did I come from? You know, when you're praying and all of a sudden you start thinking and you're like, oh, that wasn't me, God. That type of thing. Like, not all thoughts are your own. So I feel like lust may not always be intentional, but maybe the actions that come after that.
So that's why I was asking what it is called, because I mean, you wanted that person, but after knowing maybe this is how the person is, I mean,
And I think it all depends on the thought you had in your head. Because if you were trying to go to the person or to talk to the person and now it didn't end as you wanted it to be, it all depends on how you started the whole thing, how you talk to the person. I feel like that's how it is. Because if I wanted you sexually at the first time, I talked to you, that is when we're driving at like lusting after the person.
So what's the difference between attraction and lust would be my question.
I mean,
attraction can be-
attraction is what you see, and there's nothing else. I mean, that's what you see.
Yes.
It attracts you. There's nothing else that's gonna attract you that you don't see.
You don't see.
So, like, I think it's
And
what
that's
you see.
going to drive you to whatever the result's going to be.
When the Bible was saying it, it said it in two parts. If you look at a woman twice and you have that thought. So there is two parts to it. You can look and not have that thought. But if your mind just jump up, woo-hoo, and you are like, I want to have 6 babies with her, I'm just thinking about sex immediately. That's just
Nowadays, when you look, it's attraction, but when you have a thought,
Yeah. I think lust is associated with sex.
Thoughts. The thoughts.
you signing under it. It's now a law
Yeah.
kind of thing.
so that's what I'm saying. Like, from the beginning, you were trying to have a relationship with this person, but you found out this is not the right person for you. So, like, your thoughts were like good, like you had good intentions. What do you call that? If I leave that relationship?
Just something that was, and it's
That's
not
what
anymore.
happened. Yeah. I don't think it's lust. I don't think it depends on.
Okay.
I think it's all the thoughts you had in your head.
Yeah.
That will,
Before you knew, you saw it, and that's okay, right? But then now you know, you think differently.
So,
Is it even possible
Is what
It is.
That's
to actually look and not have the thought?
Yes.
not have a sexual thought.
Yeah, it's impossible.
sometimes, you can just
Basically, everybody you've looked at,
It's sometimes
everybody you've looked at, you kind of
it means
a lustful thought.
biblically,
Let me tell you.
like he's done that with everybody. Because
since I got married, I don't even have no interest in nobody anymore.
So it is possible.
So I don't look no more.
Okay.
But the fact is, when I was younger, it's can you look without having that wet thought?
Yes. You can look and you can appreciate someone.
Appreciate.
I mean, I'm glad. I'm very glad you're saying that after you got married, you don't look at people in that way because it's good. Who doesn't want that? Like, which woman wouldn't want that? It's good. But there are other men who would still be like looking out there if. And I mean, it all depends on the person's, personality traits and all.
I think that's why lust is, when I think of love, like we're talking about love, one of the things, self-control. Exactly. Lust does not have self-control. It does not have self-control.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think it's, in my opinion, I think it's naive to say that you don't think other women are beautiful still, right? Like, but like because you love and you have self-control and you appreciate your wife, you're not going to let your mind get to that place. So that's not to say that it still can, because I think love has self-control.
Exactly.
And lust, again, selfish, no self-control, right? And so that's
And I also feel like whenever you get into the mood of lust, you don't realize what you're doing until you're done.
so true.
And you realize, okay, what did I do?
Right.
And with what?
When your thoughts,
There is no thirsty waters.
the results. Stop the questions and results.
So I have a quick question there, right? So is lust always about sex? If you're saying that,
If I'm saying,
Yeah.
no, I didn't mention anything.
because it looks like we are pushing towards like lust. Lust is always about
when you're done.
after sex and done.
Different types of lust. There's lust of the eye, lust of the flesh,
Exactly.
all which I think have substance.
When you start your food.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when you have the words, that's it. And you might want it again, but it's still the same process.
I think if you
Repetition.
want it again with the same person, that means it's turning into
Getting something else.
Yeah.
Really? No.
Have you heard of love?
It's not turning into love.
Have you heard of
Not turning to love.
you just put your sexual desires on that one person consistently.
But I think there is a chance of love.
if you keep doing it.
Through that. If you keep doing it, there's a chance of based experience.
Yeah.
I do. So it's not turning to love.
Last this is love.
Yes.
Yes.
But it doesn't have happen all the time.
No. Right.
Because some men think that when you get into that mood, like sexually, where somebody you've not married, usually their value goes down. It keeps depreciated.
That is true.
So people tend not to
You
love
disagree,
them.
Clinton?
Okay, let me just give a very
Clinton
typical
disagrees
example.
with that.
Okay.
Let me give a very typical example.
Yes, please.
I am a man.
Yeah.
I like thick. I like good.
Meat.
I like beautiful. I
Nice.
like right in shape. Then a lady walks past, and a lady walked past me, right? Now I look at this lady, I'm like, I just responded with lust. Then I just go ahead and I just talk to this lady because I want her. Then I get her and we have sex. We can all conclude that's lust.
Yes.
But if I keep on having sex, it doesn't matter what I think about her value. It doesn't matter what I say about her. It will get to a point where I wouldn't want her to even need no other man. It's because it keeps on happening, and the attraction is start getting deeper.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you keep on doing it, lust has a possibility of sneaking in unless you stop it.
Okay, but why? Okay, why would you get into that mood? Because I feel like personally, when you get into the mood of always doing it, okay, why would you do it continually before loving?
Before that, even
That's a very good question. The thing is based on experience.
Okay. Okay.
I'm making it a reality because based on like experience, when you have this woman, sometimes there is something unique about the thing you share with her. There is always something unique with everybody. Everybody has their own unique stuff. And when you like that unique thing, it might be better than any other woman you've actually experienced that with.
Yep.
And that makes you want to go on.
right.
I will look at you, maybe I might just have you as, excuse me to say, like a booty call. It does not matter, but it will literally get you coming back.
Yep.
That's uniqueness. And when you get to follow that uniqueness, it turns to become something that you are always there for that piece.
So then it goes back to, I think either Clinton or Chelsea, they mentioned something about when you're lasting, it's like you can control yourself. So now, do you agree that when you get into that position, you are in the moment of lust?
I'm saying yes, but love has opportunity of sneaking in because you start developing emotional, deeper feelings for this person.
So you think it's right to build a relationship on lust?
No. Okay. I'm not saying that.
Can I just object real quick? Sure. A lot of things you said. No, I don't think that right there, consistent sex can lead to love. I think you saying that uniqueness you want for yourself is just pride and possessiveness that men tend to have over things that they enjoy and want for themselves. Think about just even a man, like you want something mine, right? Like that's even the thing of like even marriage. You want something to be called your own, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so if you've experienced sex with this person over and over and over again, and you know it's good, right? You're like, bro, I know you giving that to mine. And then you take that and you want to claim it as your own, right? But that's when you love the person. You just want what they have for you, and you don't like the thought of somebody else having what you want, right?
Exactly.
And I think it'll be enjoyable over and over again because sex is enjoyable. I'm assuming. Hey, I haven't been there.
Oh, that's it.
Haven't been there. Sex is enjoyable, and you get dopamine from it, and they are good at having sex.
Right.
But is that love? I think love. You can't love. I think it's hard to love something you don't know. When you know it's her body, right? And maybe the more you guys start to talk, in the midst of that, maybe love can come in, but you don't know her. You know her body.
What you said?
Yeah, so
Nothing what I said.
yeah, so like what I was trying to say is not just because of the sex. So every single day come let us
Let's just be there.
let's have sex and it turns into a relationship or love. So the process of she coming back or he coming back and you guys doing the same thing, at that time there is a period there that you guys are gonna get to know each other.
Exactly.
Because it doesn't happen. Sex doesn't happen as soon as the woman and the man comes. You just have sex.
I think it's subjective, right? There's people who there's people who strictly want, there's people like, if you want just sex, hey, you come, don't talk. Hey, the rules are, don't speak, let's get straight to it.
So he's talking about the one that leads to love. That's how it happens.
You know, let me mention this.
During time.
Love, sex is a whole different topic. what some young people know sex to be, they don't really understand what sex is. Sex takes a whole lot of energy than what you people think about just coming together and just having like the intercourse. What I'm talking about, sex, you get to know somebody through sex,
Right, I agree.
including knowing what she likes.
Sexually.
Let's say she comes every Tuesday evening. Tuesday is tomorrow. Maybe last week when she was coming, she brought, when she goes, I asked her, hey, have you eaten? So that I can buy food outside. She's like, oh, I ate. What did you eat? Oh, I ate pizza on my way here. I wish I could get a better food to eat, like McDonald's or something. Okay. That is an information you have gotten for free without even asking. Every single time you meet that person, you get to know that person. Because based on experience,
I like how you
I use that because we are not talking about just theory. We're talking about real life.
Your personal experience.
Exactly. It is literally what happens.
So yeah.
It is literally what happens. Like, you can test waters.
You know what? I have a very interesting question for you right there.
Yeah, shoot.
So when you lust after somebody, you see, like, based on what you said at first, you saw this girl with all the qualities you expect your woman to have on them, and then you start doing intimate stuff with them,
Right.
and all of a sudden, that is not love. You've not gotten to the stage of love
You've not gotten
yet.
there, yeah.
And somebody else lust after them.
Right.
Now, are you gonna be territorial of the person?
You see, that question is a very good question because you guys think love doesn't deal with territory.
No, love does.
That is what I think you said. No.
No. Here's the thing: you could want claim over things you love, and you could want claim over things you don't love. I think love, when I love my husband, I will want him to myself, and that's totally fine. But lust also can be territorial too, right? Because that's what I was saying as an example of you saying you just because you want her to yourself does not mean you love her. There's a lot of people that want things to themselves that right.
Exactly. I'm going to be territorial if it's on for a while.
But if you don't love them,
If it has gone on for a while, when it goes on for a while, you don't control your emotions that comes with that.
okay,
The thing is good. I come back for it.
right.
I come back for it. I come back for it. 10 times, I keep on going. Now, it gets to the point where I would develop deeper emotional feeling for this person without controlling it.
What is what? It's just a habit of you getting used to
I was just
it.
gonna say that's you, right? That's you.
It's
but
not
there's
just
people,
me.
No, but think about it. There's people who have affairs and they're married and they go to their same mistress over and over and over again and they don't love her, right? Just because you know somebody.
They actually get to a point where they can do it.
Yeah, I think they do.
They do.
Because
Some people leave their wife for their mistress.
Right, some.
you develop a connection in the
develop-
bond with this person.
Right, but I think it's subjective. I don't think it's fair to say it's an objective truth that when I think like the more you have sex with someone, I do think soul ties exist. So you get to you get to lock them down, right?
Yeah.
But I just think just because you're connected to someone and you know somebody,
Right.
does not mean you love somebody. If we're talking about what love is, if you loved them, I feel like you would when you love somebody, I feel like you would choose. There are so many things it wouldn't be a secret thing, it wouldn't be a shame thing,
Right.
It wouldn't be like all these things that. Wait, I take that back.
I can listen quickly.
Yeah, I was gonna say I take that back. I correct myself.
So
Exactly.
from the what I said, I think from the beginning, as I said, lust is intentionally. You see how he's saying when he goes back for it, he feel like he gets like a
Deeper
emotion, deeper connection. So it's the thought, right?
Right.
So you being intentionally, it comes from here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's why I was saying last is intentionally because I want to do this. This is what I want to do.
Right.
If this is not what you're gonna do, I think it happens one time and that's it. But if you keep going, now it
That
comes
is intentional. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you've made up your mind to go there.
because you have to think about it before you go the second time.
Right, but that's still lust you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
At first I said last was intentionally, but you said it can be both ways. Yeah, so I was just trying to confirm that it can't, like it has to be from
Yeah.
that if I just want to have sex with this girl,
Yeah.
Yes.
I know I just want to have sex with her. It just don't happen.
Right.
I think about it. I see her. I like her. I just want to have sex. That's it.
Right.
But if he keeps doing it and he gets connection,
Then that's
it still
okay.
comes back here.
Right.
Because you thought about it, and now I feel like I have to get more. I have to love her or something.
So in that instance, are you just feeding your lust by doing it over and over?
Yeah.
Yes.
And are you happy about it?
Most people are.
Okay.
The fact is, that's why I said the uniqueness that you get if you have gobe.
What is gobe?
Gobe is
For us, listeners,
gobe is what we call lifesaver. and life jacket.
combination of carbon, carbon.
It's beans with fried, grinded cassava called gari
Yep.
on top
Beautiful.
with palm
Oh,
oil,
yep.
fried
with fried plantain.
Gosh.
avocado.
You can use
Art form. It's an art form.
I'm going to want
As pepper on it.
Holy Ghost, calm down. Ooh, can I?
I saw. And some open air with pepper.
In Jesus' name, we should. Son, before we leave.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I was trying to example I was giving is that imagine
It's getting harder and harder. Sorry.
oh
Okay.
their thumbs are kind of flying. So if I have eaten so many beans or gobe from different places, but there is one thing about the particular one at my school, West Coast University, the uniqueness. The way she add the oil rice with the pepper on the side, and the way she stirs it up, I don't know, it doesn't become too hard. It's that there's some uniqueness that every single morning I want it. Afternoon, I want it. If I've been eating it the whole day, I think I'm sick.
Oh, yeah.
It started from me just trying it, and I just went one day, and I was like, I don't know what to eat today, so let me just buy this one. Everybody's there. I bought it. I ate it. I'm like, oh, it satisfied me good right now. But hey, it's whatever. The next day I went, whatever. By the third day, I'm like,
Yeah.
I can think about the fact that there is no other person selling the same type of beans. Let me go get more. Then I went. And I'm like, okay, I want to go again. Bro, like, are we having beans party today? That is how it starts. So when it gets to the point where you are so interested in the fan, that is where it's key. If you give yourself that chance, love will fly in easily because now the deeper emotion thing has actually happened. You can stop it. You can stop the love by stopping sleeping with that person. Simple.
I have a question.
Cut the person off.
I don't think you can just cut it like that. Because when you do the intimate stuff, that's when you get into soul tie.
Good. Now, why do you think you cannot cut it off like that?
Because of the soul tie.
So you think that love can slide in there, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all. That matters.
And your nerves like intertwined.
I know somebody blinking up in the air, wishing Jesus would come and save her right now.
Okay.
You know, based on experience. Jesus' name. Conscious.
Is habit someone's life, like it's a habit, someone's life, like if I keep doing something and it's my habit, is it who I am?
Like you are what you eat, that type of thing.
No,
Is it?
Not yet.
I'm not.
It gradually moves from a habit to something else before it becomes a character.
I think you're like
The Bible says it.
I disagree with
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
I think if you keep doing something over and over,
That's
like an
That is actually
when you have
who
an
you
addiction,
are.
how do we call them addicts?
yeah.
Because they've done it over and over and they become their habit.
It's thoughts in your head.
Right.
So, and you are what you think.
So I think in that case, what Pastor
So man, think it. So he is.
Exactly.
if it becomes your habit, that means it's who you are, it's what you want, it's what you like to do. So that's where it gets you locked up. That, I mean, that one is different. Those kind of people, I think they can have one lady and still just have sex with them, and so like that. In that case, it's different. But I'm just talking in the sense that if something can become a habit, that you can never let it go because it's you now. So that's where it it forms into a love because you want it.
Yeah.
You disagree?
I think that one, love the example about food. Hello. But the thing is, I feel like your love for gobe, right? That love.
We're slanging that food.
That love.
Yeah.
The thing is, the difference between love, I think love in a romantic sense, for it to get to the point where like you're marrying someone, that type of love has to be mutual. Your gobe can't love you back. And it's not going to choose you. It's not going to hold your hand. It's not going to comfort you. And it doesn't know you.
Right.
So even that way you're talking about, love has to be built, a long-lasting love is built between two people. Yes, there's people, you can love somebody and them not love you back, right? So just because you're growing, and I think the word you're looking for is attachment. You've grown attachment to your gobe, hey, and you've even grown to love it, right?
Yeah.
But I think you can't, I feel like it's hard to compare that to two people, because I think that type of love has to be mutual.
Yeah.
Because in that case, like if you're talking about something that can grow to love, it can grow to love for you, right?
Yeah.
But if we're talking about a love that's going to last, it needs to be mutual between two people.
So you just say you love that needs to last. Love is this. Both of them are still love.
So
Right? Wait, she
What
said
about the one
love
side
that's
of
going to
love?
last. Love that's not going to last. Yeah, still love.
Well, you
It's the word.
One side love.
Yeah.
Once the love is still love.
I mean, yeah, but last thing, like,
Gobe doesn't have hands to hold me, but yeah, Gobe loves me.
quick question right there before anybody talks.
Okay.
You said you get attached to the person, right?
right.
If you love someone, what do? Do you get attached to the person?
I think you can get attached to people you love, and you can get attached to people you lust for. When I have a crush on somebody, hey, nobody come around him. Do I love him? No.
But the question is, you get attached to the one you
yeah,
love.
when you love, do you get attached?
Yeah.
You can't just
But
say.
like attachment is not exclusive to love. That's what I'm saying.
It's part of it.
But no, but it's not exclusive to love.
It's literally part of it.
It's but it's not exclusive.
exclusive.
Yeah,
Like a requirement.
it's not like it's not the only thing. Like attachment is only attached to love. No, attachment is
going here. The point is, she literally used that as the explanation for the lasting part instead of it being love. And we are saying, you said it's not exclusive. That's what we're trying to make you get. The fact that love can also get that too.
Attachment.
So you cannot use that as an example on the last part if you're talking about that.
Because it can be used if
It can be used on both sides.
if you can use from both sides.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't just use this on one side.
That's if you say attachment, it can
right. No,
split out.
I agree that you're attached to the person you're having sex with, right? But I feel like yes, and you love certain characteristics. The characteristics you know. Right, like the characteristics you know, the McDonald's over pizza. Wait, so I actually know, like the McDonald's over pizza. This is something to see where, again, it's not like I've experienced this. Like you said, experience. That's
Yeah.
I'm sure that I think that, like, I always say crushes, right? And even sneaky links or things, crushes, I always say their lack of information.
Right.
You ever know, like, when you have a crush on someone and then the more you get to know them, it starts to be like, no. But sometimes the more you get to know them, it starts to be like, okay. There's something we can build here, right? But I think that's outside of sex. Like, that's outside of, so what you're talking about is somebody who we started with sex and we developed into, like, we started talking. Like, so I think if we're doing purely based off sex, you can't fall in love purely based off of sex. You just had to talk to them. You had to ask her what she wants. So
Right.
now you know the person, and that is different than just saying we're going to like of course you can't just love someone purely based off sex. And I think that's the difference there. When you talk about it sneaking in, yes, it can sneak in after you talk to the person and you decide to choose them, you decide to love them. And yes, you just met through sex and then it developed to something more. But I think what it was sounding like at first was that like sex was like it's yes, it started from lust and I don't think it grew into love. I think love came in. I don't think it grows into love. I think love came in because you knew them, but you still lust, like you're still having sex with them and lusting after that.
But
I think you can literally love through sex because there's no only one way of love. Love can happen in different ways.
what does our culture say about these two things?
American culture or African culture or Christian culture?
We can do those two.
Say about way.
About what does our culture, because right now we're coming from like the African culture and then American, because now we've gotten to know the American culture too, so we can say about the Ghanaian one, specifically the Ghanaian one, and then the American. If you look at the Ghanaian one compared to the American, do you think there's a vast difference? Do you think there's some stuff in there that you're like, I don't agree with this. I don't, all that. Like, can we compare and contrast?
What do you think, Karen?
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a big difference with American culture and like African culture, because let's say for me, talking from experience, the way that I thought courting or like how it is done in Africa is totally different here. They go about that here, they will call it dating, like so easily.
Yeah.
Oh, I want you to be my girlfriend, and they just go about it. But in African, you have to go see the father. You have to go see the mom. They have to know who you are with. In case of anything, who you're going to call.
Yeah.
But here, sometimes you can date someone for 2-3 years and nobody even knows this person. Not even your mom. Not even your dad knows this person.
Sneaky.
But in the African culture, definitely someone is going to know.
Yeah.
Even if not through you, but it's going to be through a friend because of how or the values that we have and the perception we have about like dating, because we don't just date, we date towards marriage.
Exactly.
Because that is the bigger goal for us. But in the Western world now, in America here, people sometimes just date for dating's sake because everyone is doing it. So I just want to date and also experience it.
Yeah.
Without the intention of the long-term goals with that.
Okay. Chelsea, do you want to say something that I know you're not really familiar with, but you at least you know among us, you know that this is what we do. So
Well, I think I can come at it better probably from like a Christian culture versus like the rest of the Western world. Because I grew up in African culture. But I think at least with my mom and dad now, I'm very open with them about the things that I experience, maybe because I don't have shame about my like love life. So like when I have interactions, I tell them. Like even last week, like if a guy's flirting with me, my mom's gonna know.
Yeah.
And so I think that's definitely culturally different because like I know back home she was not having those relationships, that close relationships with her dad at all, right?
No.
But now I think we've made the shift in pursuit of relationships, so I think that's different there. Well, in terms of like the whole courting and like difference there, well, I see it in the Christian context of like the two shall become one, right? And that's just talking about sex, but even in getting to know somebody intimately, it's a big deal. It's a big deal to say the least. But I think in our current culture now, it's been minimized. It's been minimized, even just dating, the casualty of it. It has been minimized to the point where I feel like it's a knockoff version of what it's supposed to be right now. Because people don't treat it with the respect and I think the status it should be held to, we're selling ourselves short for what we were called into, right? Because we accept the bare minimum, we get bare minimum situations, and unfortunately we bring children into the world who have the bare minimum and who don't know their dads and who are born into broken households, because I think the foundation of what we do it on is off. And so if we build something on a selfish foundation, on a foundation that's not stable, I think you get the results that we see now. And so I think that because it's been minimized and it's so casual, I think it's leading to a lot of brokenness that we have to clean up years later. And I think that's what's leading, especially in the Black community. If we're talking about the Black community and our differences, I always say like my Christian, even the Black Christian, because like my Christian friends, they're ring by spring girls, baby. They come out of college with a ring on the finger. Hello, where'd you find this man from? Ring on the finger. Okay, like my both of these people are getting married, but I think we have a culture, even the African culture, it's like don't date. You're 28. Where's your husband? The switch. Well, baby, you just told me to finish my whole education before I got a husband, right? And so then it's like it's don't until it's too late, right? So I think there needs to be. I think dating is good when you're ready and when it's time and when you are. I don't think you have to be fully figured out, but I think it's beautiful to grow with someone sometimes. But yeah, those are my opinions. I think it can be minimized, but I think in the African culture, we don't talk about it enough for our young girls to feel equipped to go into that situation. That was a long-winded answer, but you get it.
you want to go?
And then I have a question. So would you say dating and courting are different?
It has to be different. I think dating is just boyfriend and girlfriend, and courting is
When it gets serious.
maybe when the family knows about it. Because boyfriend and girlfriend, the family don't have to know about it. But when it's like courting, like I know like your family knows me, my family knows you, and if we are looking for you, they can come to my place. If they are looking for me, they can come to your place. So I think that there's difference in it. You're not married yet, but the family knows.
It's like
each other.
serious.
Yeah.
It's like everybody knows it's in the known that you guys are planning to get married or something.
I think it's based on explanation.
Because I feel.
It's based on explanation because dating, people can actually consider that, like the whole courtship and everything, into one thing called dating.
Yeah.
So,
Cultural difference.
oh yeah, exactly. It's based on that, how you defined it. But when we come to Africa, that's when we actually try to differentiate it. Like, oh, there is a stage called dating. Nobody has to know. Then we get to the courtship area where, okay, now we are actually serious about it. We want to get married. But the fact is, literally, to start it in the first place, your head has to, or your mind has to be to that point. So from the beginning to the time you propose, I think we're still dating until then. For me, that's what I think, based on the explanation that I know.
So will you say after proposal? Okay, I mean, I think you put all of them in together, so that question will. So I was about to just say, will you think after the proposal will be the courting before like the marriage itself, or like what do you call that after the proposal? If the time before you get married,
When you propose, you are engaged.
okay.
It's an engaged thing. Okay, that's American definition.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that we used to like.
But I'm trying to talk about it in this kind of era understanding that because we're in America now, right? So, but in Africa, you're not engaged yet. You have proposed, but you didn't put a ring on the finger because we proposed without putting a ring on the finger.
Really, in Africa?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you proposed without putting. I want to marry you. I want this. How my own
Well,
happened.
you two are gonna get married.
This is what I had my own happened.
Right.
I just went to.
The actual traditional courting.
I went to Africa. Just went one day. I just let's go see your dad. We went to go to see the dad. And I was like, okay, I agree with you. Then okay, yeah, that's it. Now we know we're going to get married. The engagements was the action that happened the day before the marriage.
Yeah, ours is a lot different.
Yeah.
Because in Ghana, because I don't know the rest of the African parts, so I always do Ghanaian side. When a Ghanaian say, "Oh, my engagement is happening tomorrow," because usually you don't in America you don't know when you're gonna be engaged unless you set it
surprise.
up. Yeah, and I do not want to know. That's what exactly. But from where we all come from, engagement is the traditional wedding.
Wow.
Before the white wedding.
Wow. So the day before. So technically, you and Patrick, you guys you were engaged until the day before your wedding.
Yes. The Friday before the
Friday and the Saturday.
yes.
They're
We were not engaged. We were just doing
just
talking.
And plan to go whole entire wedding.
I know. So, I think we should also put it out there that courtship in Christianity is different. Like the meaning, the explanation sometimes we put into it is different from what Africans think it is. Because sometimes you think that, oh, my mom or my parents know that I'm dating this guy. I'm going out with this guy. At that time, you think it is courtship. They know what you're doing. But maybe the Bible doesn't go, it doesn't align with that, because you might be doing some stuff that is not aligning with that. So well, my next question is, when we think of love and lust, as we've discussed, do we think it has a certain impact on our relationship, whether you've gotten into marriage or about to, or you're still just courting, like you want to know if we're getting married? Do you think if it's in the case of lust, you've done sexual activities with this person, do you think it has an impact on your relationship in the long run, in the short term? Whatever it is, do you think there are any impacts on them?
Like you trying to say, is there like impacts from lust on your relationship?
Your relationship.
If it turns to become a relationship?
Yeah, if it turns to become a relationship, whether it's you guys are still in a relationship or like dating or courtship or marriage.
I mean, I thought I said that we start by lasting. Man, we start by lasting. We last after you first.
So what's the impact of that?
I mean, sometimes it can be deceiving. You know, the lasting part can be deceiving because it's all glitter from the outside until you see what is inside. You know what I'm saying? But when you get to see the impact, is that sometimes you can be disappointed about certain things, and sometimes you can be grateful. You can be like, wow, I'm glad I saw you, and I'm glad I actually chose you.
Okay.
Because if I look at you, I lasted after you, and then we got married, and your life, like your actual, you have hidden lifestyles that I don't like, right? It is going to really affect, I'm going to get disappointed every day.
Wow.
And be like, your beauty deceived me into this.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But I think, yeah, it can have a huge impact if you actually last right and you love right. So
How can you last right?
That's right.
this is what I said question said.
Because you know what? Recently I heard a story of this lady, and this guy. So initially it was lust at first sight, not love. Don't get me wrong. So this guy said they got into the intimate stuff with the girl, and after knowing what they saw, they didn't want to do again. They backed out. But then they feel some kind of sympathy for the girl because now he feels like, in a way, he wasted her time. In a way, they've gotten into like a different level. And now the girl is just there. And the girl wants him for what he saw. Okay, I thought you were this, but no, you're not. At that point, everything was just like, so the girl wants it, the guy doesn't want it now. If you were to be in that case, like that issue, like what would you do? I'm gonna ask the guys because this person, they wanted us to talk about this to give them
Advice.
I think the first thing that will come into my mind is that, you know, when someone develops a character, it is very difficult to change. But you can literally try to see if it is possible first. In the case, like, okay, what character was so bad that you don't want to go on with this person? It could be your pet peeve. It could be something that you think you cannot handle. In that case, the man should now go ahead with this woman, no matter how much this woman wants him, because the man will treat her bad in the future. What that means is that if I cannot handle the fact that, let's say, you slept with, let's say, body count. We're talking about body count. And the information came out and you're like, my body count is 60. Some men, it is their pet peeve. Some men, it's not. Some men, they will be like, oh, no. There is a reason why he will say, oh, no. Because he will be there, he will be thinking about it. Every argument you guys will have, it might come up. Because of just that. He can. So going ahead to just make the marriage happen and continue your life together is going to actually hurt you in the future because it's not going anywhere. It is something that has already happened. But if what the guy can actually handle it, could be something like she eats and she makes noise. Like chewing.
Smacks her lips.
That's one thing I cannot
explain her to stop.
There's certain things you're able to tolerate.
Right, exactly. Some things you can tolerate. She doesn't know how to cook. Okay, you can teach her how to cook. Or she chewing gum all the time and making noise. She can stop. Certain things you can tolerate. And with that, if that's the case, the man can go ahead with it.
What if it is something like, because in this person's contest, it is something that they can both work on, because it is something about the woman within her body.
Within her body.
Exactly.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Yeah, it's not.
I would say that it also depends on the woman. If she is willing
to
to
let
change
them,
for
okay.
the for the man,
Her weight.
then
Not
they can
weight
go ahead.
necessarily. It's like keeping up with your body.
Hygiene.
Exactly.
Yes.
Personal hygiene.
Oh, personal hygiene.
So that's something.
That is something that can be changed. But if she's willing to, it's a very big but.
She has to make the effort.
Yeah.
That I'm willing to change. I'm trying to do
Right.
this. It would just take time. If you give me that time,
I
can get to the point you want me to be. But if she's not putting in that effort,
Yeah.
Them.
don't go ahead with it.
Because I think this has resulted in a lot of, when you have this ex that is like you still some way, like kind of have some feelings. You're always like, drifted to them. You want to know. You can't let them go because it didn't end in a way that it was like a
Character.
Okay. Oh, we're just done. It is not working. But you just wish they could do something better. I think that something like that too.
I think that's why communication is so important.
Important.
Like if I truly want to be with you, and this is something that I think that you could work on. I think how you bring things to the table is important, but I think communication is, and how they respond to that is also going to be important because you're going to have conflict in your relationship for the rest of your marriage.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you bring something that is a concern of you, because I think hygiene can be a concern, if you bring that one, be graceful, bring it to the table in a way that they're receptive to. But if they're still not receptive, that's also a red flag to you. And so I think there's non-negotiables that I have, right? And I write down the things that like this, I need this, like this is, then everything else can be negotiable, and can be worked on, right? I don't think you should fold on your non-negotiables. There's things that you need, like you said, the things that I absolutely need this. I can't move past this. Trust, never, like, because those will come back in your marriage to haunt you. For sure.
So what if this girl, is not really willing to change? But they are stuck at this point. They don't even know that this is what is going on in their body.
What do you mean they don't know?
Some people are not aware.
Did the man tell her?
The what?
Did the guy tell her? Because it has to start from there.
At this point, I'm not really sure.
Communication.
But exactly.
She can't fix what she doesn't. Yeah, because she can't fix what she doesn't know she has.
Exactly.
Right.
Because some men, they are shy to tell. They don't, because they feel they're gonna hurt their feelings.
Right.
We talked about this the other time on the other episode. Because you don't know how the girl is gonna feel, so you try other ways, like your actions, to make them know that this is what I am experiencing with you when it comes to your body, when it comes to your personal hygiene. And we all know women. When it gets to this stuff, you become like so soft and everything, you're just going to be thinking all the time. You're just going to be thinking, okay, so if this is what he's seeing, is that the reason why he did this? Is that the reason why this happened? So I think in a way, the guy is just stuck between telling her and then hurting the feeling and also ending it all. So I think it is something that they can just, do.
Resolves.
No.
He should go ahead and just tell her, because if you really, you're saying you love this person, you want to be with them.
Exactly.
You will say things that hurt them, but it's for the better good.
Okay.
Yes, you're going to hurt them, but later you're going to come to understand that he did this for me.
Yeah.
Yes, I was hurt at that time, but you will think about it and you realize it's actually true.
Yeah.
And he means good.
Yeah.
So I think he should just let her know. Even if she's going to get hurt, just
If you're
let her know.
listening, you got your advice.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I'll put it in a different sentence as, if you like the person and you don't you don't like something about them, and it's making you think, because of this, do I have to break up with the person? I think if you really do like the person, you have to say it anyways. Like no matter how bad, you have to know how to say it. You have to know how to present it to the person since you know how the person is.
Right.
So it all comes back to communication. You can sit her down and talk her, not go straight to the point like that. That maybe it'll look harsh. Like she'll look at it as if it is harsh, but maybe you started from somewhere else, something sweet, and it comes, you chip it in there and you let her know. I think it's gonna help, and she's gonna know what's going on. And for the girl to think, oh, because she said this, that's why you did that. I think that is too much, because if you start thinking that, that means there's a little bit trust issue.
Insecurity.
Yeah, so I mean, if we are in this together and I'm telling you what I see or what I don't like, you don't take it in a different way, because we want this. So like, why don't you just take it and try and see if you can correct it? If you need my help, why don't you let me know? And just sit down and think. That I kind of think that's a little bit selfish if you think just because I told you this, that's why I did that. Yeah, it's not fair to the guy or the girl who is saying to the partner. So I think you just have to trust whatever the person says. If you know the person like you, it's not just because they are saying it.
And if it's something like body odor, say for example, you can buy her a scent. Say, oh, I like the way this smells. Try this maybe. If you guys are at that level, if you're at a deep like that, which might be a little more. But communication up front is always ideal.
And I think it also like how you are with them.
The most difficult one to say is when it's kind of like a discharge. To tell a woman if it is a discharge is the most difficult thing to say. I think it's not the exit. It's very sensitive. It's not easy like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because it's a whole lot of things that goes through that.
Yeah,
and that's like degrading her totally.
Yeah.
So I think how to tell her is necessary.
Very necessary.
Maybe you stop eating sweet and you don't get white and you don't get bad discharge. You know, I don't know,
You
but
can go for like checkups together.
do checkups together, and the doctor will tell
Gynecologist. You should see her every 6 months.
Yeah.
I can live with that too. Yeah.
You can break it up as a routine.
What if it is something like
Or veering.
the girl likes to keep hair on everywhere? Hair on.
She doesn't like to
She
shave.
doesn't shave.
Okay.
Oh.
I mean, I think when it comes to relationship or love, it's an agreement, right? And sometimes somebody's opinion will be everybody's opinion, and sometimes you disagree, you agree to disagree, so you meet in the middle somewhere. So if it's that, and I see it as a problem, and then I'm saying it, how are you taking what I'm saying serious? Or are you taking what I'm saying into consideration that it's gonna make you think, oh, let me do something a little? You can choose to not do it all, shave it all, like maybe cut it a little bit, just to make sure the person know you took whatever they said into consideration. So you can't just be, hey, this is what I want. In relationship, we don't have this is what I want. This is what we want.
Yeah.
So like, so sometimes you don't have to think about, just because the person is saying it, you have to take something into consideration.
Right. And I think when two becoming one, if we're talking about intimacy, like in a sense, you guys belong to each other, right? And I want to respect that, and I want to acknowledge that. And sometimes it takes sacrificing. I think even just in relationships, period. And I think it becomes more personal when it becomes your body, and it's like, I think I have to sacrifice this. But just trusting that, like, when you bring something to the table for your husband to sacrifice, because that's going to come up, how do they respond to being asked to do something that they haven't done before? And if it's something that's really, really like, yes, you can have a conversation, but I think it's a conversation to be had. It's just, it's communication.
And I think this is when one of the major problems we face in our community, in our societies, because usually, again, going back to the societal differences, because when we go back to our culture and the Christianity culture, they don't want you to see the person you're gonna get married to intimately before marriage. So some of these stuff you're not gonna see before you get married to them, and these are one of the biggest problems. Because what if you don't see them? I'm not saying do it, but I'm just saying if you don't, and you see these stuff aftermath, after the marriage, after the not the marriage, because the marriage is what you're in right now, after the wedding day, and you see that, hey, what is this? What have I gotten myself into?
Yeah.
Use forest.
Now am I going back?
That's actually insane.
Oh my. So
That's insane. I'm scared.
do you want to take a sneak of what you're buying?
No.
Are you gonna go to the market and see? Oh, I want to buy this drink. Let me see the inspiration. The quality.
No.
Do you want to do that?
That is a very tough
If you
one.
don't do that, I know it's just not an answer.
You know what it is.
If you don't,
Question after that.
if you don't, and you go into it, hey, my wife doesn't like to shave. Oh, what a forest. What are you gonna do?
Oh, what a forest.
Oh, the girl likes to keep it like
You
that.
need to make it better.
Okay.
The girl likes to keep the bush,
Oh,
and you don't like it.
not the
Right.
president.
What are you gonna do?
I'm scared. I'm scared.
You don't know. It's actually scarier than you think it is.
Let's hear it. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're hearing you.
That's serious.
Let's go.
So many things to be said here. I think you don't seeing it. You don't have to see it to talk about it. Like I don't have to see. I can ask you. It's almost like there's communication. Hello. It's almost like before you get married, you should probably talk about. I mean, if you guys are going to agree not to have sex, when you guys choose to get engaged, before that, I'm assuming we'd have the conversation about what this looks like going into it. So it's not like communication. It doesn't exist. You can say I prefer this, even off rip. Like I prefer this, or I would prefer that.
I like where you're driving at because I have another question.
And then watch me this. Have you ever met someone who is? Everyone's like test drive. Let's take it for test drive. Like I need to know what I'm buying. Someone who's buying a Lamborghini, do they say without the test drive? You know you're getting a Lamborghini. You know the value of what you're investing in. Let me finish. Yeah, he said. Everyone's like, I need to test drive. But here's the thing: you can't test drive parenthood before you're a parent, right? You can't test drive your new job before you go into it. You can't test drive college, yet you go through it and you learn and you experience it together. There's so many big things in life that we don't test drive, but yet as we do it, as you drive your car, you become more familiarized with it. You work with it. You change things. So you can't. There's no way for you to test motherhood before you're a mother. It's a test and go as you go. So the whole assumption, but because I know your character, I know how you communicate. Like even again. I'm assuming marriage is about sacrifice. Again, I haven't been there, but experience. It's about sacrifice. It's about acknowledging. It's about listening. It's about responding, right? And in that, I don't have to test. I know your character. I know how we've had this conversation. I don't need to test it to know how you would respond to it, right? And so if it's going to be a pillar that's not going to move in our marriage, I'm assuming in pursuit of each other, in pursuit of peace, in pursuit of these things, we're willing to make sacrifices for things. And it's going to be hard. I'm not saying it's not going to be hard, right? But I don't think you have to test it. Like you're getting a lamp. I know I'm looking at the Rolls Royce right now. I'm looking at it. But I don't think I think because sex is supposed to bring you together, I don't think it should be a pillar that should bring you guys apart, and you should pursue bringing it together.
Okay, you know what? With what you're saying, I agree. You don't have to test everything before you get into it.
Yeah.
But do you know that people hide their true identity before they get into marriage?
Right.
They hide it. You're gonna tell me, oh, I like this about you, but I don't want my woman to be to not walk in heels. And then all of a sudden, this girl start wearing heels, even though they're not comfortable in. Right after they get married, they stop wearing it. Now I'm married. I got the man. That's all I want. At that point, is divorce an option?
Well,
how many times would you want to go into that?
Well, I think, let me answer your question real quick. I think that's why discernment is so important, right? And also having a community that discerns for you, right?
Right.
Like if I brought somebody to my parents or my family and they didn't like them, I wouldn't marry them because I would assume that there's something that you're seeing that I'm not, right? And I think that's why, as a Christian woman, I pray for discernment, even for my future husband, right? That my eyes will be open,
right?
Or that even, or I'll bring them around my friends. How do you see him responding? Because there's red flags that I may not see, right? And situations like that are so unfortunate. Yes, people hide their identity, but I pray, again, of course, I'm not there yet, that I will have the discernment. I will know, like, my word. I will know what I want. I will know red flags, and I'll have a community around me. I think that's why community is so important around me, that would check the places that I don't know. But I guess they're like, yes, people can hide that much, but I hope that's not the case. I wouldn't know that.
What if people are going through people didn't have what you're saying, the community,
Yeah.
the prayer, I mean, it'll look like God didn't answer you.
Right.
If it didn't happen for you, what if you didn't get all that and you are in the marriage life right now? What are you going to do or advise the person to do?
Someone in a marriage who's like, things have changed.
Yeah. Like whatever you were praying to see, you never saw it. Whatever you were waiting for your community, your mom, your friends to tell you, nobody saw nothing else. The same thing you saw is the same thing that they are seeing. And now you are married. What is your advice to that person?
I have absolutely zero clue.
I
I don't know. I don't know.
the question, what she said, fortunately, I actually agree with her 100%.
Fortunately, kind of wish.
This is not by experience only. Not by experience only.
The same question will come right after that.
The main reason why I'm saying that is I respect that. You don't have to test drive that. The main reason why you don't have to test drive that, she gave a very good point that it's not everything you test drive. When you get into it, of course, there's going to be sacrifices. There's going to be learning together.
Yeah.
And everything. Hey, marriage is a school that never ends.
Yeah.
And that means that if the only little one, there was a question that was put across this 60-year-old man, and him and his wife has actually been getting married for 40 years. And they asked them a question like, how do you guys push on? And everything. And he actually gave the best answer that I still don't know everything about my wife yet.
How beautiful.
You are still knowing. And if you depend, I mean, there are strong things that can actually end a marriage when you later on finds out. But there are things that we learn together. I found out, hey, a typical example is this bush. If I'm the man and I don't like the bush, right? Not the president. And I don't like that bush. Do you know what I would do? I can be like, hey, babe, I bought this new machine. And they said, oh my God. It literally takes hair off like that. And I don't even believe it. But hey, let's play a game. You try it on me.
Let's play it again.
I'll try it on you. Oh, hey, babe, Watson, did you see that video? It hurts. You think it's going to hurt on us? Anything to get her to,
I like that.
like something like that. You can find ways to make it happen without disgracing her.
Right.
Sometimes some of them don't have that opportunity to learn before they got to you.
Yeah.
Some of them don't. My wife never learned how to cook until she met me. I was the one cooking and showing her how to cook. And I don't find that to be bad.
That's
You understand what I'm saying? So, and I use it as I made a jollof rice. She tested it and she was like, oh my God. And I'm like, yeah, I do that once a year. If you want to eat that again, let me show you how it's done. You see what I'm trying to talk about? Yeah, it's so easy. And she learned it piece by piece.
Yeah.
I
think if all the partners were to be like that, it's soft. I think the women would
Question.
teach it.
So all the things that we are talking about is fixable, right? You can fix it.
Yeah, exactly.
What about the ones we cannot fix?
Land is different.
Like,
Example.
give an example of something that is something you can't
Somebody's
fix.
character that you cannot do nothing about.
You didn't vet them before. That's the thing where I'm like,
See, that's when the person didn't show
I
you
find
that.
it hard to, at least for me in my community, I guess it's hard because people don't have, I think that's why I think getting in a relation, I think it's hard. It's hard if you have a community to see how you can miss big things like character. Like, think about it, even after meeting someone for like 10, I feel like I have a gauge on pretty much a little bit about how you guys present yourselves and how you guys, it doesn't take, so you mean to tell me like, the only reason I see that is like if you just met them and got married fast, right? And like met them and just dove right in, right? I feel like with time, even like, you know, there's a honeymoon period and you're dating where everybody, oh, rose-colored glasses, I think that's why also friendship is so important in relationships before.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think it's important to see my partner as a friend. Like, how do you treat other people? Like, how do you engage in those situations? And that's how you'll treat me, because I think friendship is a good basis for a good relationship. Like when you're not, everything's romantic, you're gonna have to tolerate the person, right? And so when you get to the point, I just find it hard to see how character like that could be missed with a good community.
It happens though, some people.
Right, and that's rough.
And that's why I'm trying to find solutions to that. Like, what do you do? Since divorce is not an option.
Counseling.
I think what you can do, that if divorce will be an option, because it sounds bad to
said that.
some
you never
people don't want to divorce, so they actually do a very thorough digging before to make sure that they don't miss important stuff. There are things you will miss, but not the important ones. So I think it all comes back to the point where you have to know if you can handle it or not. If that is it, there is nothing else you can do. Can you handle it or not? If your wife is doing something, like for example, she likes to go to the club all the time, you've talked about it.
Right.
She didn't show you that when we guys were, she was holistic, everything. But then later on, you don't like that. Maybe because you guys were playing a few thought there was holistic. All right. But when it goes to the point where she's now showing you, like, I have friends that we go club every Saturday, like we partying all the time. We drink it, especially the drinking part. I met this girl who gets drunk like crazy. Every single 3 days. This girl is just drunk. To the point that DUIs is just like
Candy.
exactly.
That's awful. The air they breathe. Candy, nobody likes candy like that.
That's fun drinking on tea after marriage. Then they just drunk all the time.
Like say you're in a relationship with someone for 2 years, they never drink, and then in marriage.
That was what I'm saying. I have seen that before.
Out there.
Like people who can hide their true identity and get you.
Pray for the
Especially men are good at that.
Yeah.
Men are good at that. You never
We all are good at that.
But men,
We all.
men
are really good.
especially.
I am not selfish. We all.
See, the other man is not talking because he knows.
Just because I'm not saying nothing, I'm just listening. Doesn't mean I agree. I mean, some women are like that too. So like,
But we all know men are really good at that.
because
How are
you
we
know,
good at that?
but what if I knew women that are like that too?
Exactly. You're gonna
I have conducted a research.
that research.
That was
Yes.
somebody's.
At Francisca.com.
And see, that's when opinions comes.
Yeah.
Even online, if you want to go to Google and you go look at something, you go research for something, and they give you a number.
Experience is
That's the person.
100
That's the
men.
person's
I took 100
opinion.
men.
That's why he's.
And I conducted a research.
100 men.
Out of them,
In the 4 billion.
Yeah, they're cut.
They developed to 4 billion.
Out of
4 billion men.
You see my eyes? Out of them,
Just guilty.
4
Just 4.
showed their all the characters to the women.
And I took 100 women.
Come on.
Come on.
So, but I say, you know,
Why did you wait for me to bring down my number? Why did you conduct your research?
I did it myself.
Clinton.com.
I went to them individually. I went to them individually, 100 women.
We want to see the
Randomly. It's not even like the people.
I know.
Let's get back to it.
You can't back with evidence when you have not shown any evidence.
You people were not.
Let's get back to it. Hey, people hide their characters.
People do it.
That's so hard to deal with, especially when you're trapped in a marriage, right?
Yeah.
I love I'm open. I know like culturally people don't think that that's a good thing to go. And I feel like I just think that's why it's so hard. It's so important to have people around you that can vet. And I don't think you should get into a marriage without people that you trust vetting the person you're going to marry. Just period. Like, and I'm sorry that, and when I feel like, dang, for everybody in your whole gang to miss it, that's crazy. Look at your gang and realign.
But I will say, right,
But God is better. So pray for that. It's
I would say you should be able to, there's going to be an advice, right? Most people don't do it. It's because we all try to be this strict in our relationships that it makes it easier for people to hide their characters. I think this is what someone taught me, that it is easier to
Again,
make
based on
yourself
experience.
it is easier to make people feel so comfortable around you to the point that they will show you without knowing.
That's so bad.
It is so important from the beginning.
It's like you know all the secrets.
Experience. It's needed because I know it might not catch everything.
Yeah, that's good.
But it will save most out.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah. My mom was giving me the advice of when the man asks you, what do you want? Like first thing, like, what do you want? Don't tell them. Let them show you what they think what will they give you? Because say, I want a man who's honest, I want him to be kind, then from now on, they will be what you told them you want them to be. So a man wants to ask you, like, what are you looking for?
Show me.
What do you want? Well, like, what do you bring into the, you know, everyone let that question. What do you bring to the table? You tell me who you are. Yeah. I'm not going to tell you what I want you to be. So therefore, you will show me the characteristics of who you are.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Then let's all try to
I think he wanted to say
be
something.
comfortable is necessary.
Oh, is he confusing you?
No. It's,
To be comfortable is so necessary.
Yeah.
The main reason why is because in my relationship now, if she
In
wants
his
to tell you
marriage.
something,
Marital relationship. I want to emphasize
it's a
that.
part of it. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
I want him to know that you're on the market.
Yeah.
It's good.
No,
So if you want to get information, it doesn't take aggressiveness. It's about how you make the person feel around you.
Right.
If they are drunkards, it will show. Because I'll be like, I tolerate it. It should seem to you that I tolerate it because of how easy it is that I'm around you. But when you do it, then I can be able to make my own decisions based on that. You understand? It's so necessary. Let's not be robotic and too aggressive. And from the beginning, I don't like this, I don't like that. No. I am good with everything. I'm okay with everything. Show me who you are. And I'll love you for you. You show me everything, then I'll love you for you. If I can't tolerate it, then I'll step aside.
Yeah.
It's necessary. Let us do that before we enter into marriage, because after that,
It's rough.
Jesus is Lord.
do you think after marriage is locked like that? Like,
Well, I'm as
because I
from
wanted to ask you that question is
like
What was your question?
divorce.
yeah, it's even it's off topic, but I just wanted to like know that.
From the biblical perspective, which I do believe in the biblical perspective,
Right.
and besides this one case, but like yes, I think that divorce is when you've stepped out of marriage, and like when they cheat on you, yes, they've already broken up. The two shall become one. I always it becomes dicey when we deal with domestic abuse for me, because I think those situations are scary, and like when you're getting physically beaten, that is a situation that I don't think God calls for you to be in. And it talks about like leaving the house, but even then, like I think that's dangerous. But outside of that, I think that it's like let what God has brought together, no man separate, right? There's a lot of people who have come together that God has not brought together, right? And I think that in pursuit, I think divorce just has so many bad things about it. So many bad things, like the children, I like the people involved, that I think that is truly last resort. And in some cases, just because you grow out of romance, I don't think that calls for divorce. I think there's things, I don't like, just because you've grown out of feelings change, right? Like I'm going to feel like, I bet it's not every day you wake up feeling like you want to love on your husband, right? And even like, Michelle Obama was talking about in her book, she was talking about like 8 years where she did not like Barack Obama, did not like while he was getting to live her dream, the things that she wanted to do. There was a season, like 8 years, where she was like did not like this man. And after that, they come out of this. Now they're in the office. She is having her season where she gets to enjoy the things that she wants, right? And so I don't think feelings are a basis of it. I think adultery is 100%, and maybe domestic abuse. But yeah.
Okay. I think our last but one question. Going back to the topic, we drifted away for a little bit, but it was still in line. But it was still in line.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about character traits and all of that. So, with love and lust, what are the challenges and the conflicts, maybe? Challenges.
For lust.
There are, especially when you take lust, there are a lot of challenges.
What do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah.
Okay, you're the host. Oh, never mind. Guilty. No, okay. I mean, I can go. I think when with lust, one of the challenges is I'll pick on him because he says something about experience. Because he got to a point, or let's say in his a story, I don't, yeah, let's say, yeah, he got to a point where he was just going on and on with this person he has not fallen in love with. So they're just doing the sexual activities, but they haven't gotten into the stage of being in love yet. At that point, that is a challenge because now you feel like you have to just continue. Even because sometimes your mind is like, no, this is not right. But your feelings is telling you otherwise. To me, I feel like that's a big challenge right there. Because it will get to a point, like the story of this guy that I shared for us to give an advice on. He got into a situation where he thought that it was going to end somewhere better, not like how it ended. And now he doesn't know if he's moving on or he's backing up. So at that point, that is a challenge there too, because you did the thing with a girl, and that is when you got to know that this person has a whole bush or forest down there. So at that point, at first you kind of like liked her. Now you don't know if it is love, if it was love, if what you're feeling right now, because you're feeling some kind of empathy for the girl. You don't know if it is love or you're just being what is the word? Like just thinking about them, just being thoughtful. You know, that point, because it keeps you in a situation where you can't even move on to your next relationship. Right. Because it's like, it feels like you're still hanging on to something, like some baggage. To me, that's a big challenge. I'll just skip this one because it looks like we don't have a lot to say on that. What would be the overall advice? This will be our last question. The overall advice or tips for somebody who's going through love and lust, who's fighting between it. Is this love? Is this lust?
I would just say pray.
Good.
Just pray, because sometimes it becomes, I think these kind of stuff, we just talk it as if it's just physically, but sometimes there is some spiritual connection or some spiritual something behind the physical. Right. So I think if you pray about this, I believe God can come through for you and help you through it.
What if the person is not a Christian or necessarily prayerful?
Well, you got to seek advice. Okay. Because if you're not praying, somebody got to talk to you. Okay. Or you have to listen. Okay. So the people that are lasting right now, I think if you make it a habit, you become an addict. Right. Whatever it is. So don't make it a habit and listen to advice, and it's going to help you come out from it. Right. And the people that are in love, I mean, love is a good thing. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think my advice is patience, patience, patience. More lust happens because people are not patient. Yeah. Patience is necessary in and out of love, in everything you do. If you feel like you actually lust easily, patience will teach you how not to. Patience will give you some kind of respect that nobody will be able to give you. Learn how to be patient. Don't rush into anything. Take your time with it. Do your own investigations and seek for help. Like as she said, have a community on your side. It is necessary. Be very patient. No rushing.
Okay. Well, I would say it's always stay true to your core values and what you actually believe in, because in the case of love, someone can lower their beliefs and their values just because they love someone or they think they love someone. But in the end, what they actually felt or their values would have gotten them the right person for them, because we have certain values and beliefs and we actually believe those for a certain reason, because I don't just say, oh, I believe in God without knowing why I believe in God. Because of what I have been through and what I have experienced and how I've been brought up gives me the right or like the information to say, oh, I know God. So if you have certain things you believe in or you're looking for in man, just like what Chelsea was saying before the whole thing started, that she wants someone who is very prayerful and like into God.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to let that go just because, oh, I love this person and I can change them later. No, if that is what you believe in and you go out for that, and definitely you're going to find someone like that who will be prayerful and believe in God with you and grow with you.
Yeah. Cool. Two things. Of course, she's a talker. I think take relationships off a pedestal. I think sometimes we idolize it. I think that'd be a good episode, like singleness and idolizing relationships. Even as a community, like everybody wants to be in a relationship. Like think about singleness. You will never be able to serve God the way you can now. You'll never be thinking about yourself the way you will now. So value that. Also, like back to Proverbs 31, like your value is talking to the women, like you are worth far more than rubies. You should not like your value should not be devalued for somebody else. Right? Like you have to start valuing yourself. I used to think that I was so ugly that I could take dirt because it was like, bro, it doesn't matter, bro. As long as I got dirt, at least I got dirt, right? No, start to value yourself and see yourself as worthy of somebody who will respect you and love you and know, like, I think I'm worthy of someone who's prayerful. Like, so that's why I have that. Like you have to start thinking of yourself like that. Know yourself. Like, bro, don't be naive and put yourself into position. Lust, like, it festers in the darkness, right? And it's like Ephesians 5, it talks about, like, whatever you're going through, bring it to the light and it will become light, right? Like, don't suffer in silence. If you are, like, again, like, things like, even like addiction, like, all these things are things that they'll shame you so much that you will just suffer in silence forever because you're so shameful to bring it to the light, right? But there's freedom in the light, right? And so whatever you're going through, like, feel free enough to bring it to the light and allow your community and God to illuminate it, to make it light. If he's just like, what you bring to the light, I will make light. And so it's not, again, nothing new under the sun. So like everybody here has dealt with lust. Everybody here has dealt with probably the same things that you have dealt with. And so it's not something to be shameful about, and don't be shameful about it in silence. Lastly, don't put yourself in the position to fall. Hey, baby, it's 3 a.m. Don't go in that car. Hello? Come on, discernment. Somebody somewhere. You know what triggers you. Hello. Guilty. Like, bro, if you know what triggers you, and so respond to that, be obedient to your voice inside that's telling you don't do that. Listen to that. And so, yeah.
Right.
Beautiful.
So I wanted to say what you said towards the end, discernment. I think that's very important because that is when you're going to know this is right and this is good. So if we're able to discern and know that what I'm doing is not good, this is that, then we would be able to maneuver through whatever we're going through. So thank you, guys. I know it was from the beginning, we didn't know where we were going, but we've done it.
Yeah.
We've done it. It's not really easy. I think we're gonna come back for episode 2 because I know that there were sub questions that we need to deal with, because I know a lot of people are gonna have some questions with some of the stuff we mentioned. So we're gonna come back with the same crew members or more. So that we have many people we fit on the couch. Okay. Maybe we're gonna get a bigger couch. Who knows? So that's about that. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you learned something today, and all of your questions hopefully were answered. If not all of them, most of them. Like we said, this is the Fiery Voices. As you can see, it was just someone based off experience all the time. All day, all night. The Fiery Voices, we just say it as it is. So keep watching us, and we promise to bring you nothing but entertaining stuff, educative stuff, and all that. Join us every day. Subscribe to our channel, comment, share, like, all of that. Give us positive, even if it's negative. Let us know what we're not doing right and all that we're doing good. Thank you. This is the Live Room Studios. We'll see you another time. Peace.